The all-new health and fitness show on Unity Radio in association with Premier Training and Viamax Nutrition. Unity Radio 92.8 FM, it's a health and fitness show for this Sunday morning in association with Premier Training International and Viamax Nutrition. We're now 4 weeks into this series and we're looking at how you can make your bodies fitter and healthier and just get yourself all ready and all kind of set and looking great and feeling great for 2013. It's coming up to a new year, so I think it's time we all kind of looked after ourselves. We've been bringing in loads of experts over the process of this series, but with us every single week is Ben McDonald from Premier Training International. In some of the weeks as well, don't forget we've had Max from Viamax Nutrition, who are also a sponsor with us. But Ben, we're kind of continuing things like weight loss now. We're going to do an actual weight loss special. So Ben, what sort of things are you going to be discussing in today's show?
Okay, Sean, well, I think, you know, recapping from sort of like the last, or the first show, should I say, where we spoke about obesity, which, you know, it is pretty heavy duty, mate. You know, that's when you want to lose a fair tilt of body fat. So this time what we wanted to do is have a look at just general sort of weight loss, or as far as a little bit of body fat loss. Now, first things first, straight off the bat, we need to sort of get away from weight loss. That tends to be like bandied about all over the place, and people get obsessed with scales, get obsessed with the bathroom scales. They're on them every flaming 5 minutes. You know, a pint of water weighs £1.25 £1. So as soon as you have a pint of water, bang, there's £1.25 £1 on straight away. So, you know, weight can be and is a real big fallacy. You know, if you've got a fighter who's training for a fight or something like that, who needs to make a specific weight, then fair enough. But aside from that, it's body fat that you want to be losing. You know, we can look at sort of losing muscle mass, we can lose bone density, we can lose body fat, we can lose blood, we can lose water. All those things all make up our weight, you know, our viscera, our internal organs and all this, that and the other. So there's only one thing out of those that we really want to lose. We don't want to lose any weight off our brain, Sean. You know what I mean? So what we want to do is just lose body fat, to be honest, mate.
What we're going to do is we're going to discuss that a little bit more inside of about 2 minutes. But what we always do is we get you all going with a nice, happy little feel-good tune. So we'll be back in a few more minutes to take this a little bit further. Don't go anywhere. This is Unity Radio. 92.8 FM, this is Unity Radio. It's the health and fitness show for a Sunday morning in association with Premier Training International and Biomax Nutrition. We're talking weight loss, Ben.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. What we need to think primarily about, mate, is nutrition to start with. So we're going to look at some sort of diets and fad diets and stuff like that. And I mean, you can look at generic weight loss programs, or we can look at sort of real calorie restrictive sort of stuff. Now, as far as that goes, mate, you know, when we was talking before about like we can lose loads of different things that relate to weight. And primarily, you know, one of the big problems with real restrictive sort of calorie intake diets is it's primarily muscle mass that you're going to lose. You know, your body tends to like to keep older body fat because it can store a lot of energy in a relatively small space. So it likes to keep hold of that for the lean times. So if we're not using our muscle mass, that's what tends to get burnt through. Now, the problem with that is, mate, you know, we spoke a few times about our metabolic rate, and that's just the amount of calories that you burn, you know, the amount of energy that you burn at rest. That's your basal metabolic rate. And then you have stuff like the thermal effects of food and the thermal effects of exercise on top of that. But our basal metabolic rate, that's just the amount of calories that our body needs just to sort of exist, just to be here. Now, the more muscle mass we have, the higher our metabolic rate, the more calories we need just to exist. Now, with a real calorie restrictive diet, what'll happen is our muscle mass can drop off. Now, when this happens, our metabolic rate drops. So we start a diet, we go to one of these slimming clubs and all this, that and the other, and we have a certain amount of muscle mass, and our basal metabolic rate is at a certain level. So we go on a real calorie restrictive diet, we drop a load of weight, which is primarily sort of muscle mass, and our metabolic rate drops because we lost muscle mass. Now, the problem with any diet, mate, is that it's finite. You know, it's not something that you can stay with forever. So you come off the diet, your metabolic rate is lower than where it was when you first started the diet. So now you start eating normally again. You need less calories really, but you just eat the same amount anyway, and bang, you throw the weight back on, and then you throw a bit extra on as well. Now, also with these calorie restrictive diets, mate, what you got to think is we restrict our calorific intake and we lose weight. We do. Then our body sort of gets used to the amount of calories that we're putting in there. So what'll happen is we start to level out, we plateau, our weight loss sort of finishes. So what we do then is restrict more calories. So we drop a little bit more weight. But then our body plateaus again. So we cut even more calories out. And it is a vicious circle, mate, honestly. It's a vicious cycle. It's an absolute nightmare.
So is this the kind of thing that leads to things like bulimia and anorexia, or is this, is that something completely different?
Those are more sort of psychological issues, to be honest, mate. But it's all about control with those sorts of things. And what happens is people are can get wrapped up in this entire sort of weight loss sort of culture. And you know, a lot of the time what I've said to my clients is, how would you feel if I've got a lady who comes to see me who says, you know, at the minute I'm a size 12, Ben, I want to get down to a size 10. Okay, fantastic. He said, I want to lose X amount of weight. I say, whoa. Let's forget about the weight. Now, how's about if you go from a size 12 and you put on half a stone, but you'll be in a size 10? And they'll look at you, Sean, and they're like, oh, well, that's fine. I'll have a bit of that. But, yeah, that's what we need to do, mate. We need to get more into our body shape as opposed to our weight.
And in doing that, I suppose it's important really to get the right diet. So I think you mentioned something about plenty of fish in the diet and things like that, and plenty of omega-3 to 6 and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean we've spoke about that a few times, and you know, to be honest, mate, we have fats in our diet, right? Now everybody, fats, flipping heck, everyone gets scared sort of straight away as soon as you say the word fat. Now, fats are essential in our diet. You know, saturated fat is absolutely essential in our diet. But apparently that's the bad one that clogs your arteries and all this, that and the other, and gives you heart disease and X, Y and Z. But it's absolutely essential, mate. I mean, your brain and spinal cord are made up of 45 to 55% saturated fat. So, you know, if we don't take the saturated fat on board, we're already sort of we're not in the best place that we can be. Now, also, you know, when we spoke in the first show about hormonal influences in what it is that we in our body and how that affects fat storage, and especially with obesity. Now, fat, we have what's called insulin. Now, insulin gets released from our pancreas, and it's there the majority of the time, mate, to deal with carbohydrate. Now, when we take on board carbohydrate, our insulin levels shoot right up, especially processed carbohydrates. Now, when we take those on board, our insulin levels shoot up through the roof. Now, if you think like, the way I like to think of insulin is it's like a reverse bouncer, right, on a club. So what it will do is, it'll stand on your fat cells, and it'll let glucose or carbohydrates, it'll let that, in the simplest terms, mate, it'll let that into your fat cells. But so long as insulin's there, it won't let anything come out. You know, like a bouncer will let people come out, but it'll stop people going in sometimes. Well, it's sort of the reverse of that. So he'll let people come in, but then he won't let anything come out. So you can't actually burn body fat while your insulin levels are high. So long as we're taking on board loads of processed carbohydrate, insulin levels are high, and we're not burning body fat. Now, the only macronutrient, as they're referred to, which is just carbohydrates, proteins and fats, the only one that doesn't affect insulin is fat. So, in essence, mate, this could go right against the grain, but you may very well go on a high-fat diet to burn body fat. It does go a little bit against the grain, but that's how it works.
So in the great scheme of things, Ben, talk us through what sort of thing you would have on an average day in terms of starting off with your breakfast right up to like evening meals and stuff.
Well, to be honest, mate, I tend to go protein with every meal, to be completely honest with you. So what I have in the morning generally is I'll have some form of egg-based meal, be it sort of scrambled or, you know, I'll have some poached eggs, like a nice omelette or something like that. Chuck a bit of spinach in there, you know, maybe even a bit of salmon as well. Absolutely fantastic, getting omega-3s in there to start the day. But I'll also have, you know what's really good, mate, is a nice cup of coconut tea. Now, what I'll do with the coconut tea is, coconut oil is saturated fat, but it's absolutely fantastic for you. It's really, really good for you. I mean, and it's versatile, mate. You can put it on your hair, you can put it on your skin, you can rub it on your teeth, you know, you can do all sorts with it. But it's absolutely fantastic for you. So what I'll do is I'll get a cup of sort of warm water, and then I take a tablespoonful of coconut oil and drop it in the warm water. Now what happens is it sort of melts and sits on top of the water. So what you've got to do is stir it up, you know, make sure you're not just drinking it straight off the top because you'll be ill with it. But stir it up and then get it down, and I'll have that along with my breakfast, which is fantastic. Really good way to start the day. Now, with a high protein breakfast as well, we have what's called gastric emptying. Now, gastric emptying is just where the rate at which your stomach empties. You know, so if you have high carbohydrate based sort of breakfast, that actually speeds up sort of gastric emptying. So in effect, mate, it makes you more hungry, you know, because it just flushes everything straight through your system really quick. Now, if you have proteins, or if you have a protein-based breakfast, what that does is that sort of limits gastric emptying. It sort of delays gastric emptying to a certain extent, which is great because it keeps you fuller for longer. But you know, the biggest inhibitor of gastric emptying is fat. You know, so any sort of high-fat meal that you have, it inhibits that gastric emptying and keeps you fuller for longer. So that'd be sort of that'd be my breakfast. Then I'll move on, sort of mid-morning. I might have a bit of a snack. I mean, for me, I'm not really interested in losing a great amount of body fat, to be honest. So I'm not too bothered about having some fruit, because even with the fruit, you know, you get fructose, which is a sugar. Bang, insulin levels go up. So you don't want to have too much fruit, else your insulin levels are high through the day. You do get goodness, don't get me wrong, from fruit, but you know the fruit sugars can sort of offset your fat loss a little bit. So I'll have a bit of fruit during the morning, and then sort of dinner time I'll have some form of like chicken salad, something along those lines. Maybe some spinach thrown in there, a bit of feta cheese and stuff like that. And then for again, bit of fruit in the afternoon, and then for me sort of tea time, I'll have some sort of protein-based meal with a bit of brown rice or something like that, maybe some broccoli and stuff like that thrown in there as well. And if I'm hungry later on, I'll just have another piece of fruit or something before I get my head down. Is that in depth enough for you?
Yes, Ben. Nice bit of Jamie Oliver going on in there. The Ben McDonald, the healthy Jamie Oliver. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to come back in about 2 minutes' time, and we're going to move on to talking about a slightly different area about this. And we are just going to keep you posted. Loads and loads of stuff on the Unity Radio Health and Fitness Show, of course, with Premier Training International and Viamax Nutrition. Unity Radio 92.8 FM. It's the Health and Fitness Show with Premier Training International and Viamax Nutrition. Myself, Sean Lever, with you for this Sunday morning. I've got Ben McDonald from Premier with me in the studio. We're talking about weight loss in particularly. I know it's a subject that's going to be close to a lot of people's hearts with Christmas coming up and loads of your turkeys and your mince pies and stuff. Actually, Ben, before you, turkey isn't too bad for you, is it?
No, turkey's great, mate. You know, it's a great form of protein, but you know, if it comes with a bit of skin, if you get a bit of skin on it on your Christmas dinner, mate, get the skin down you as well. It's all about the skin on the turkey, mate.
I was going to say, what is it about the skin on the turkey that makes it so healthy?
Well, I mean, what you got to look at is there's a few reasons. So long as the turkey's good quality, as long as you get a good quality turkey, and if you can, a decent sort of organic one, then that's how it comes in nature. You know, when you look at protein, the majority of the time it comes with fat. You know, and the skin of the turkey's got the fat in there, and it's great. It helps us to synthesize proteins, or for our body to utilize the proteins. The fats are there to help us absorb sort of fat soluble vitamins. You know, there's tons of reasons why we should take it on board, and I think, you know, people are sort of getting away, hopefully now. Or a lot of people that I see are getting away from that fat being the badder. You know, there are some sorts of fats that we want to stay clear of, such as sort of trans fats like margarine, which is a flaming nightmare, sort of stork, all that sort of be good to yourself stuff. You know, that certain gentleman from Bolton who's on the telly advertising a be good to yourself spread, which I'd rather put a loaded gun in my mouth if I'm honest, mate, you know. Yeah, so we've got to get away from all that, but natural fats and good quality ones, absolutely brilliant. So take them on board with the turkey, mate. It's not going to do you any harm, you know. And the amount of calories you're taking on board anyway, what's the problem?
We're going to move on to shopping really now. I mean, when I'm in a supermarket, what sort of things should I be buying for this kind of diet?
All right, mate. So like we said there, I mean, we want to get away from massively processed carbohydrate. That's the main thing that we really want to sort of stay clear from, and sort of man-made fats. Now for me, a dead easy sort of rule of thumb is shop around the edge of the supermarket. That's a really, really easy one, mate. So what you'll do is, around the edge of the supermarket, you think about it, you've got all the perishables, so you've got all the fruit and the vegetables. Fair enough, you've got the sort of bread, which we can sort of stay clear of. But you've got the meats and all this, that and the other, and the dairy produce and everything, and all the perishables around the outside. Don't venture into the middle aisles, Sean. That's where the evil stuff is. That's where, if it's in a cardboard box and it's going to be on the shelves for flaming ages, mate, then we don't really want to be taking it on board, because we're going to have a massive adverse response to that.
And sugar,
mate, is an absolute nightmare. Now, this is it's a big one, this, really, because do you know that if sugar was released on the market today, it'd be banned. You know, for it's that addictive, and it has that many negative sort of things attached to it. It's an absolute nightmare. Real sort of white processed sugar, terrible stuff, mate. Because if you look at, I was looking at some research done. One of the guys at Premier, a really good friend of mine, Ben Pratt, is an absolute legend with this sort of stuff, mate. And he's just just finished sort of writing the level 4 qualification for Premier, which is the obesity and diabetes course, which I sat in on and listened to the stuff that he had to say, and it was absolutely, it just blows my mind. That guy is phenomenal. Now, he's shown some great research about, you know, over the years, how our rates of saturated fat intake have dropped, but our rates of sugar intake have rocketed. Now, the rates of sugar intake have rocketed, saturated fats come down, our levels of obesity have gone through the roof, our levels of diabetes have gone through the roof, our levels of coronary heart disease, mate, have gone through the roof. But was that not supposed to be fat that caused that coronary heart disease stuff? You see what I mean? So I think something somewhere along the lines is going wrong, and that's something that we really seriously need to address. And sugar, we was talking before about insulin, and that's a hormone that's released from the pancreas, and it's a prime driver for fat storage, insulin. And the main sort of trigger for that is processed sugar is a massive, massive driver for it. And sugar is everywhere. They sneak it in everywhere, mate. So all this sort of low-fat, the low-fat stuff especially is a nightmare.
Ben, very, very quickly, top 3 foods that you can name where sugar is snuck into and you wouldn't really know about it.
Okay. Cereals. You know, these healthy cereals, absolutely hammered with it, mate. These flaming loads of it. Low-fat yogurts, you know, anything like that. There's tons of it in there. And the main thing is, when they take the fat out, it's the fat that gives it its flavour. So when you take the fat out, they've got to replace it with something. They've got to put the flavour back in. 9 times out of 10, bang, sugar and tons of it. Yeah? And ready meals. There's flaming loads of it in ready meals as well, mate, along with salt. You know, it's absolutely battered with it.
Unity Radio 92.8 FM. It's the Health and Fitness Show with Premier Training International and Biomax Nutrition. We're going to have a nice piece of music now, and we're going to come back in about 2 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere, Manchester.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. So shine bright tonight. You and I. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright diamond. Shine bright diamond. Highlight the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I.
Unity Radio 92.8 FM. You're joining us with the Health and Fitness Show with Viamax Nutrition and, of course, Premier Training International. Ben McDonald is getting you a bit healthier and a bit fitter, getting Manchester into shape. Of course, we've got the boot camps as well, which are associated with this, which we're going to get to a little bit later on in the series. Before that piece of music, we were talking about things like, where you should shop, like things like, what sort of hidden sugars are in there. But I mean, let's have a look at the quality of food. I mean, what sort of qualities, what should I be going for, really?
I mean, the thing is, mate, what you've got to look at is that it's all about the quality of the food that you put into your body. Now, do you know, we've spoke about sort of processed foods and all this, that and the other, and they have a huge negative impact on what it is that you're trying to achieve, especially if you're trying to achieve sort of body, if you're trying to lose body fat. Processed foods are gonna sabotage that completely. Now, if we can, what we want to do is, ideally, we want to be looking at sort of organic foods. We don't use, in organic foods, there's no pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides, all this stuff that gets sprayed sporadically all over your food, mate. There's none of that in organic foods. But also, do you know what a big one is, mate? A big one is the treatment of the animals that we eat as well. That's what we need to think about, because if the food is in organic food, in our organic farming, the animal's welfare is paramount. They look after it. I mean, fair enough, we're going to kill it and eat it, basically, but it gives it the farmers give it a relatively good life while it's here, and that's great. It has a massive knock-on effect to the quality of the food that we eat. So, as far as sort of organic goes, that would be the number one for me. That would be the sort of gold standard, if you like. Now, I'll tell you what, there's a great website that people can go on, and that's going to give them some real good sources of top quality food. It's www.naturalfoodfinder.com. And that's it's an excellent website. It's run by my mate Ben Pratt, who's top boy for nutrition, for Premier Training. Now, as far as the organic sort of food goes, that's brilliant. So that would be the sort of gold standard. Then, if we can't manage that, then we've got to look at sort of organic, supermarket organic, yeah. And again, if we can't manage that, then fresh food, mate, is the way forward. None of the processed stuff, none of the ready meals, none of the pizzas and all this, that and the other. We make our food from scratch, and we know what's gone in it. We know that we're not tipping a flaming bag full of sugar in there, and we know how it's been cooked, and we know where it's come from. That would be the main thing for me. Also, whatever happened to going down to your local butchers? Get to your local butchers, get to your local greengrocers. Certain supermarket chains have been known to sprinkle fake dirt on the potatoes, and that's true, mate, honestly. So what we want to do is go to the local greengrocers. They know where the food's come from. Go to the local butchers. They can tell you where they've got the meat from. And that's what it's all about, mate. Know where your food's come from and know how it's been treated. And then, that's what we've got to understand. That'll give us the sort of grounding and the foundations for really, really good nutrition, mate.
Is there any way to tell, really? Like when I go to my butchers, is there any way to tell if that meat is organic at all, other than, just asking and taking his word for it?
Well, it really does depend where you go, mate. But if it's got a soil association sort of mark, anywhere, if it's from the supermarket, let's say, and you buy it in a pack, if it's got a soil association mark on there, then that's going to be they're like, look after to make sure that it's all organic that we're buying. But do you know what? There's a belting little trick, mate. That if you're looking at chickens, here's a belter for you. You'll love this one. If you're looking at chickens and you're looking at the quality of the chicken that you're eating, we can look for something that's called hock burns. And what hock burns are is, do you know, now what they've started doing is they sort of tuck the ankles back inside the chicken, so you can, on sort of like the feet, you can see like the ankles tucked back inside. Now, if you look on the tops there, that you can see through the sort of cellophane wrapper or whatever it's in, if you look on the tops of those little ankle bones, you can sometimes see burn marks, right? Little black marks. Now, if you see those are what's called hock burns. Now, they come from the chicken not being able to stand up. Because what happens is, they grow chickens that quick now that the chickens literally can't hold their own weight up. So what happens is they just kneel down because they can't stand up. So they kneel down in their own sort of, not to put you off your chicken butties, mate, but sort of kneel down in their own sort of fecal matter, and it burns the knees or the hocks. And that's a great little tip to sort of look out for. You know it's going to be poor quality if it's got sort of hock burns on it because it was grew too quick, mate.
We'll take a short break for a piece of music. We're going to come back and I reckon we're going to talk about... Should we talk about Eskimos?
Let's talk about Eskimos.
You know we got to get busy. 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 You know we got to get busy.
Unity Radio 92.8 FM. It's a health and fitness show for a Sunday morning. You got myself, Sean Lever, with Ben McDonald in association with Premier Training International and Viamax Nutrition. And as I promised, we're going to talk about Eskimos. Eskimos, Ben. Eskimos.
I'm loving the amount of times you're saying Eskimos. You just like the sound of the word, I think, mate. Yeah, I mean, when we were talking before about fat, this is what we're saying to you, you know, how fat's the bad boy and all this, that and the other, and we shouldn't be eating fat. And well, I mean, the thing is, mate, you can think of it in sort of two ways, you know. Fat is the densest source of energy. right? You get 9 calories per gram from sort of fats that you take on board. Now, it's almost like Mother Nature has put a really dense source of energy on the planet for us that's going to help us survive to the next meal, but we can't eat it because it will kill us. You know, it's almost as if she's trying to kill us. Now, also what you got to think about, mate, is look at the Eskimos, right, or Inuits. Very, very hardy people, very, very sort of lean, and they live on a massively, massively fat dense diet. You know, saturated fat all over the place, whale blubber, seal blubber. You know, it has a massive impact, and they do great. They do great from a high fat diet. Now, I wanted to just talk about, you know, something that we spoke about before as far as the quality of our food goes. You know, we were talking about animals and stuff. Animals, the way that we treat them is of paramount importance, really, mate, because and the way that they eat as well. Because what we've got is, when we take on board animals, what we want to do is we want them to be clean, and we want them to be healthy, because we can't take on board sick animals and expect to make ourselves better. Do you see what I mean? Now, you know what? This is a big problem as far as, you know, you look at antibiotic resistance that we're getting at the minute. It was on the news the other day. Now, do you know what? A lot of that comes from animals being injected with antibiotics, not to make them better, but to stop them getting sick. That's why they inject them. So they're just sporadically sort of injecting our animals with antibiotics. Then we take them on board, and that has a massive impact on our resistance to antibiotics. Now, also, what we've got to think about is that the fat on the animals, fat is a massive storage site for toxins. So if you've got an animal in a cage, you can't turn round, eating a very, very poor quality diet, obviously going to be depressed, very, very small amount of exercise that they get, if any. The toxins that they're taking on board and the toxins that are floating around in the system are going to get stored in their body fat. Now, what will happen is then, mate, we'll sort of take those animals, we'll eat those animals, and we'll eat the animals' fat, and we will then take on board their toxins. So what happens is, our fat becomes toxic. Now, this is a big problem that people have. And do you know, if you sort of start off on a weight loss plan, so on a fat loss plan, and you find that you're not losing a great amount of body fat. Now, a lot of the time, what the reason for that is because we have a very, very toxic sort of fat stores, or we have very, very toxic fat stores. So it's always worth thinking about detoxifying your fat. You know, so eating very, very clean, drinking plenty of water, and just giving your body a bit of a rest. You know, sometimes just to have a bit of a fast. You know, like just a 1 day, 24-hour fast. Really cleans your digestive system out every once in a while, and it just gives your body that chance to have a little bit of a rest from dealing with all the toxins that you're taking on board. And if you do that, if you drink plenty of water and you eat very, very clean, your fat is becomes far more mobile, because your body thinks, do you know what, that fat's not that toxic, I'm going to burn that, I'm going to utilise that for energy. But when it's really toxic, mate, your body's a very, very clever piece of equipment. It won't let body fat go because it doesn't want to release the toxins into the system.
I mean, how good is water for your diet? I mean, I've not been ill in the best part of 10 years, and that's for the simple reason I go through 6 to 8 bottles of water during a DJ set, and I just take in so much water. I mean, is it genuinely that good for you?
Mate, water is literally the elixir of life. That's what it is, mate. It has that many functions in the body. It's insane. You know, it enables electrical impulses to be passed throughout the body. It sort of carries water-soluble vitamins. There's just tons and tons of different things. It enables life. That's what it's all about, mate. You know, it enables you to think clearly. It enables so many different sort of processes to occur in the body. It's untrue. So water is a huge part of any sort of nutritional sort of advice that you've got to sort of give. Now, saying that, we just want water, you know. We don't want to have water mixed with cordial, water, or maybe a cup of coffee with water. You know, this bottle of Coke, it has a certain amount of water in it, or should I say, a certain well-known brand of sugary soft drink has a certain amount of water in it, but it's all the other stuff that we take on board with it. So just a glass of clean, God's own water, mate. That's what we want to be taking on board.
And water from the tap, I mean, is it bad for you?
Well, I mean, it depends, mate. It's better than a flaming soft drink, you know. But when we were speaking about hormones before, and our water supply is, we've got tons of stuff in our water, absolutely tons of stuff, mate. So you look at in our water supply, we've got loads of estrogen, very, very estrogen dense, and that's just through, you know, ladies who are on the pill. You sort of go to the toilet, and that gets into our water supply. You know, it gets into the water table. There's tons of other stuff in there as well, mate. If your water's been fluorinated, I mean, for me personally, it has nothing whatsoever to do with your teeth.
Unity Radio 92 by 8 FM. It's a health and fitness show. Myself, Sean Lever, with Ben McDonald. This is in association with Premier Training International, and of course Viamax Nutrition. Max isn't with us today. He's normally with us from Viamax Nutrition, but just to let you know the sort of things that Viamax do. Basically, pretty much every kind of every substance that you could possibly buy, legal of course, that will help you with things like your training. You can go down to their warehouse at Trafford Park. It's Viamax Max Nutrition. But of course, we've got Ben from Premier Training with us, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about, the actual training element of this.
Yeah, mate. I mean, we've spoke about the nutrition side, so let's have a look at the training side. Everyone's going to sort of turn off now, I think, because this is where the hard work comes in. I mean, the thing that sort of people get wrong, mate, and especially sort of coming back in January time, it's going to be, I'm joining a gym, I'm learning a language, I'm going to do this, that and the other. So people have all these sort of New Year's resolutions that they're going to do. What they tend to do is get stuck into the gym, and they tend to pick the most boring sort of exercises they can, mate. And it's through no fault of their own. It's just because people don't know what to do. They just go in, jump on a treadmill, run for half an hour, and then off, have a shower, get changed, and then off home. Now, for me, you can get far more bang for your buck than that, mate. There's tons and tons of stuff that you can do. And if you are going to, go in, you are going to do a run, brilliant, that's great. But seeing as we're speaking about sort of weight loss and fat loss and stuff, if you really want to get the most out of that training, then do some high intensity interval training. So it can be just something just as simple as on a treadmill, 20 seconds, absolutely flat out as fast as you can go, pop off for a minute, then back on, bang, 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 really smash it out, and just absolutely as much as you can handle for, say, sort of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then you get far more bang for your buck from that, mate. Now also, as far as that high intensity sort of stuff goes, Premier have got some great stuff on the website at the minute, on the blog, absolutely fantastic, because it's all sort of, you see them pieces of kit in the gym, and you think, flipping heck, what do we do with those, like the flaming straps that are hanging up and all this, that and the other. So go on the website, go on www.premierglobal.co.uk, go on the blog, and there's loads of little training programs on there, all high intensity interval training at the present moment in time. There's tons of other articles on there as well, and it's all stuff like suspension training. There's what from my mate Sean Eden, there's another guy on there, the main man Richard Scrivener, doing some kettlebell stuff. I'm on there throwing some stuff about and generally just trying to do myself in. And that would be a great place to start, mate. Just getting on that high intensity interval training, that's the way forward as far as your cardiovascular training goes. Now, as far as, if we look at any sort of CV based sort of, so cardiovascular, sort of running and stuff like that, and rowing and all this, that and the other, people can tend to get very, very caught up in that as the main way to lose body fat, and they tend to leave resistance training, a weight training, especially girls. Girls don't like to do it because they think they're going to get hench or something, They think they're going to get massive, but it doesn't happen. We were talking about hormonal influences before. You need testosterone to get big, and men have sort of 10 times more than women. And even for men, it's very difficult to put muscle mass on. So for women, it's really, really difficult to do. So all that steering clear of resistance training, it's a thing of the past. It's a real sort of fallacy now. So what I want to do is, with the resistance training, get stuck in, and what happens is, mate, it brings that metabolic rate. We spoke a few times about metabolic rate. Metabolic rate shoots right up through the roof. Now with your sort of cardiovascular training, especially that long, steady sort of state stuff, where you go for a jog or whatever, your metabolic rate will go up, but then literally as soon as you finish training, or within a couple of hours, it comes straight back down again. Now, with the resistance training, it goes straight up, goes really high, your metabolic rate, but then it stays elevated for anywhere up to sort of 72 hours, after you finish training, depending on the intensity of the training session. Now, if your metabolic rate's elevated from where it is normally, you're burning more calories, mate. You're burning more body fat, and that's what it's all about. And the more muscle mass you have as well, Sean, don't forget, the higher your metabolic rate. So a lot of the time, when we talk about weight, heavy is healthy, because you can have more muscle mass, which will make you heavier, but you'll be in a better shape sort of physically.
So what about, for example, if I need a bit of help with all this, I mean, should I see a personal trainer?
Well, to be honest, mate, as far as I'm concerned, like I've said to you before, I mean, you're doing a great sort of mix for me at the minute. I mean, that's something that I couldn't do. If I want some music doing, then I'll come and see you. If I want a gig DJing, I'll come and see you. If I want a suit making, I'll go to a tailor's. You know, if you think of it like that, if you want to go into a gym and you want to get the most out of what it is that you're doing, then you go and see a PT. You know, always make sure they're a sort of Premier graduate. So always go to a Premier PT, and that's going to assure you of a certain level of quality and a certain level of professionalism, mate. You know, that PT is going to look after you, going to guide you, going to design programs for you, going to motivate you, going to make sure that you get in the gym. Because, you know, if you come home and you've not got anyone waiting for you, and you've got to go to the gym, you know, 9 times out of 10 you're going to think, oh, flipping heck, I can't be bothered with all that. I'm going to stay here tonight. I'm just going to have my tea and sit in front of the telly for a bit. I'm knackered, you know. But if you've got a PT waiting for you, then you're gonna make the effort to get to the gym. You don't want to be letting that PT down. Otherwise, you're going to get charged for the session, you know, for not even turning up, which is which you don't want. So definitely always look at having a PT. You know, we've got to keep varying what it is that we're doing. We don't want our body to plateau. We want to keep jazzing the training up and changing it up and all this, that and the other, but we may not have the knowledge to do that. So we may just stick with a program, you know, sort of LL Cool J's Platinum Body Workout. You know, we may just stick with that for X amount of time. But after a certain amount of time, our body just plateaus and it stops sort of adapting. So what we need to do is change it up and jazz it up. And a PT's got the knowledge to be able to do that for you and to get you to your goals far quicker, mate. You know, and a lot of the time you hear this, you know, it's coming up to January and people are saying, oh, I can't really afford a personal trainer. And I've spoke to people like that, and I say, okay, fair enough. What's your social life like at the minute? Oh yeah, you know, I like to go out on a Thursday, and I like to go out on a Friday night, definitely. Saturday dinner maybe, and then Sunday dinner. If not Sunday dinner, then I might go out Saturday night. Okay, brilliant. So if you want to go and have a PT session, it might cost you 30-35 quid for the hour. But you know, what is that in the bigger scheme of things? It's how many pints is that now? I mean, it hasn't been out for that long. It's like 7 pints, you know. So you can cut back a little bit and be able to afford a PT steady away. You know, you might even just see a PT once a month and get a program designed for you that you can get stuck into. So they really are worth their absolute weight in gold, mate.
I mean, these kind of things, they do take time though, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. That's a big one, that, Sean, because what a lot of people will do is it takes a long time to put body fat on, you know, to get to a certain sort of level where you actually think, I need to do something about this now. So it may take somebody 5 years to put on a certain amount of body fat, but people expect to lose that body fat sort of instantly. You know, they'll go to the gym, they'll do a session, they'll flaming weigh themselves as soon as they've done the session, and weigh themselves in the morning, you know, whatever it may be. But they'll do a week and they'll think, oh no, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I'm just going to jack it in. You know, if it's took you 5 years to put that body fat on, you've got to be sort of open to the fact that it may take a little bit longer. So not longer than 5 years, like, but longer than a week to sort of get that body fat off. You know, so stick with it, and consistency is absolute key to this sort of thing, mate. That's a massive one.
Ben, we're coming towards the end of the show. Big thank you for everybody for tuning in. Just a few little plugs for you before the end of the show.
Cheers, Sean. You know I love this. Yeah, mate, you can also go on my website. You know, there's tons of stuff on there as well. Lots of articles and stuff. That's www.benmcdonaldpt.co.uk. If you want to go on, if you're interested in doing any sort of health and fitness related sort of qualifications, or even if you're just interested in health and fitness and you want to have a look at some top quality articles by top quality people from all over the country, then make sure you go on www.premierglobal.co.uk. And they've got a blog on there. You know, there's tons of sort of articles, all sorts of stuff, great courses, and there's offers on there all the time as well. Absolutely fantastic. If you're interested in following me, you can get me on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter at BenMCD123. Yeah, and jump on, mate. I'm also on LinkedIn and stuff like that as well.
And don't forget, for Viamax Nutrition, you can get down to SK Sports. That is down at Trafford Park. They've got a nice little warehouse there. And if you mention Unity Radio, they will do you. And I ban the term goodie bag. It's let's just call it a fitness pack, okay? If you say goodie bag, I'm sure they'll know what you mean. But if you go down there, they will sort you out. Just mention Unity Radio. That is just about it from myself, Sean Lever, and Ben McDonald. We will be back next week. See ya.